All right, here we go. Final Friday before Rice Hate Week. You guys ready? I know I am. 3, 2, 1. Yo. How you doing? Hawk fans, welcome to the, a lot of you have been here before, to the PTN, to the Pictorial Network YouTube channel. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys stopping by. Do me a favor, make sure you take the like button out for like a surf and turf dinner. Take it out for a surf and turf dinner, and then hit the like button. Hit the like button. I'm drinking some fine water here. I'm so thirsty. So thirsty. All right. Yeah. Check out all the links provided for you down below in the description box if you guys want to. Shout out, of course, you guys saw the screen, but the Patreon supporters. Look at you. Look at so many consistent people on that list. It's just fantastic. Look, and we got a new one too for the month of August. I hope we can add some more, but we've got a new face on the Patreon list. That person will make the list for August in the first week of September when Patreon forwards me the updated Patreon member list. Okay. There's a lot to talk about, but then there's like chunks of things that we can talk about here, but obviously fall camp is done. I mean, it's really been done for the most part since school's back and everything. These kids are back in class or if they're not back, I think they're all supposed to be back. Correct me if I'm wrong. So with fall camp being over with, we're going to kind of go over the green shirt list. If you guys haven't, if you're not a part of our Discord, man, it's picking up. You could tell like football's back. We're getting people back in, and they're, it's rough especially when the baseball team has an early, for Razorback expectations, an early exit out of their own super regional. Then it just kind of, the chat, Kelly Marie and I will share recipes. We talk some recruiting, but I'm going to work on that. I'm going to put up, I've got this idea of doing a recruiting tab, a recruiting channel on Discord. But if you haven't joined our Discord, you need to join, especially during football season. I'm getting that invite up here ready for you. Hang on just a second. You got to create it. But if you guys, seriously, I think last week I did a decent job of keeping fall camp updates ready to go. Here you go. Here you go. Paste and enter. There you go. There's the Discord. Quality depth matters. That is correct. Quality depth matters. That seems to be lost on a couple of individuals who've been hitting me up since my interview with with Mark Rogers. Going to talk about that in just a second too, concerning the defensive line. Okay. Yeah, Super Chat is up and running. If the Super Chat will always take priority. So let me first start with, because I don't know if this individual is in chat or not. I told him I would be live by 3 to 5. I actually had two people. I had one guy in my DMs that was, look at John Hawes putting the tweet out on the Twitters. Look at you go, John. You know I love you. So on my video, I was on the Mark Rogers show. When was that? Was that last week or week before last? We broke down the defense a little bit, and I talked about how excited I am for the secondary, and I think the future's really bright there with the secondary with all these names coming up. You've got Ladarius Bishop, who looks like he's gonna be DB number 2, beating out Hudson Clark. Monteric Brown this year, probably obviously not going to be back next year. With Catalan, Slusher, Brooks, the secondary, the future's bright for this year, and then the guys behind them, I think, you feel pretty comfortable about what's going on with the secondary. The linebackers, you guys know where I'm at. The depth is just so scary there. I made a comment about Fat Kids Unite recipe. Isn't that the truth? But I made a comment on Mark Rogers' show about I'm not too hopeful about the defensive line. Now, let me just go back to what this individual said on a video. I got to find the comment. And I'm not one to like take a giant dump. No, I am. If someone crawls under my skin enough, I will. I'll drag them through the mud. This is from it was from the Arkansas Razorback Fall Camp updates, put up or shut up video. Wilson Wood commented, and look, I'm not throwing him under the bus. I don't know if he's in chat. I told him I'd be live between 3 and 5. Obviously, I didn't go live till a little bit after 5:30. So he's probably not going to be here, but that's fine. Maybe he'll come back and watch it later. Your interview on SEC, he meant to say Mark Rogers show, was really poor. Zero knowledge of our defensive line depth and many other miscues and unwarranted pessimism looked bad. This guy was, I don't know if he still is since I called him out on it, is a subscriber to the channel, clearly doesn't watch the live shows or just doesn't listen. I don't really know. I've gone into pretty good detail about what's going on the defensive line, or at least, I've gone over some individuals, my hopes for the defensive line, what I like, what's going on there with these 3 transfers and so on and so forth. My biggest concern about the defensive line, and I'm going to state it again loud and clear, is that it's not a good recipe when 3 transfers. We're not talking about guys that were studs. Yeah, they contributed, 2 of them from Mizzou, from SEC. Like, you expect some level of SEC quality, and I think they both are. But we're not talking about 3 all-conference defensive linemen here transferring to Arkansas, or at least not 2 of them that played in the SEC a year ago. They came in and they're going to beat out. They're more than likely going to beat out what you have here on your depth chart, on your roster as it currently stands. That's not a good sign. That's never good to have transfers come in. And I know someone's going to bring up, well, they played under Odom. Okay, but so did the guys a year ago that are still here. The only guy you lost, Jonathan Marshall, Xavier Kelly, obviously gone. But here's the thing. Last year, experience was an issue up front on the defensive line. There's no doubt about that. But you had numbers on the depth chart. This individual goes on to talk about, I'm not going to read the entire comment, but it was, we return everyone on D minus Jonathan Marshall. Okay, well, right there, fine. That's great. Cool. What did those guys do a year ago? Now, here's the good news. Again, you have 3 guys who are going to come in and probably, if they're not going to start, they're going to make the 2 deep. I think they're all 3 going to make the 2 deep. Again, not a good sign. But again, we're not talking about all conference caliber talent on the roster, at least not that we've seen. Everything that you've heard me say is based on what we have actually physically seen on the field. A year ago, talent was absolutely the issue, not depth on the defensive line. Linebackers, it's opposite. All right, Wilson Wood, it's opposite. Linebacker depth is a problem, but the talent with the guys that play, obviously Bumper Pool and Morgan is, I think obviously Morgan's an All-American and Bumper Pool's an All-Conference caliber. Don't count out Henry. I think Henry is someone that you need to keep an eye on. I think a lot of people have just counted him out. He makes one miscue, and all of a sudden he's the worst linebacker on planet Earth. Never mind the fact that he filled in pretty good when he had to last year. And I feel all right about some of those younger guys coming up through the ranks at the linebacker spot. But defense last year, the problem was absolutely talent. Make no mistake about it. And all the names that you mentioned with the guys gaining weight, great. I hope they contribute this year because of that weight gain, and maybe they will. I do think, as I've stated many times before, they are going to be better on the defensive front. I hope I'm wrong, that I'm not too excited about what's going on the defensive line. But they do have, and I agree, they have better, I think, SEC quality depth there. I'm just not sure if that's like, they're guys that might make the 3 deep at somewhere like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of another mediocre SEC team. Maybe Ole Miss. Would they make the 3 deep at Ole Miss? Mississippi State, I think I'm not buying in. People are now trying to hype them up a little bit. Like Mississippi State's going to be something special because it's Leach year 2. Again, I think I think we just disagree. Me and this individual, Wilson Wood, and another guy in my DM too said I was a little too hard on the defensive line. Oddly enough, I don't think anyone went to Mark Rogers' video and complained. They went to me in my DM, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I've got pretty thick skin. Or they comment in the videos. So, I mean, if you guys are excited about the defensive line, I am too, in that I think they are going to be better, but I'm not, as far as the overall product on the field coming from the defensive line, I haven't, show me something. That's where I'm at with it, Wilson. That's where I'm at with it. I hope these 3 transfers make a world of difference like you believe they're going to. I hope you're right, and I am 100% wrong. Here's the difference. When you close out your comment and saying, being skeptical of a line that returns everyone but Marshall. By the way, how many years has Arkansas – look, there's been years where you've returned great or at least legitimate 2-deep depth, in some positions 3 deep on the ends, and still had a shitty year. Like, you're who cares? Quality depth. That's why I say I don't think you watch my show. Quality depth is what matters. How much quality depth does this team have? I know you've done your homework. You clearly have kept up with the defensive line, and that's great. But when you say that it's unwarranted pessimism, my man, what football have you been watching the last 3 years? Our defensive line, where did they finish in pressure, sacks, tackles for loss? Where did they finish? Not even just last year, the last 3 years, where has this defensive line been? I'm going to grant you that the difference being now they have Odom. I am all in on Odom. I love him. I think year 2 Odom is going to be – I think it's going to be so much better. And I don't think we're going to have a year where at halfway point all of a sudden the defense collapses. I don't think that's going to be the case this year. I really don't. I think they're able to build up their depth. And that's the difference between this year and last year. When you're talking about linebacker depth, you're talking about the future of the secondary, and you're talking about the defensive line depth. They finally had an entire offseason. That's where I'm optimistic. Those are the points you probably should have made. Like, look, they had more time to develop the back end of the defensive line depth. And I'm all about that, and I agree. I think they have. I'm just skeptical because I want to see it first, right? I want to see it because, again, the last 3 years, they've been one of the worst defensive lines in all of the SEC. They were horrible. I think it was Trey Williams, his career at Mizzou. What does he have? 8 sacks? That's more than every returning defensive lineman at Arkansas. I think that's combined. Again, dude, you're not – I'm glad we've got this weight gain. And again, you and I agree that they've got a little bit more. I'm not going to say it's great quality depth, but a little bit more quality depth, I think. I want to see it. Let's see it happen on the field. The good news is I'm really big. I think Ridgeway could be special. That guy moves really well for someone as big as he does. Trey is, I think, going to be good too. So I don't think you and I completely disagree. And the other individual in my DM, maybe I was a little too hard on him, but I think it's warranted. I don't think it's unwarranted pessimism. It was absolutely warranted when the defensive line has been as bad as it's been. That's all. Okay. All right. Our door alarm is going off, and now my kids are running to the living room because my wife has walked into the house. Okay. Let's get this thing. Let's start this off with what's going on. What the hell is going on with injuries? So, something that has to happen. Again, we're going to break down more of this on Monday. Monday is it, guys. Monday is fall camp. I mean, it's fall camp done with, right? We're done and over with that. It's Rice install week, and it's the first day on the 30th, the first day of the Pig Trail Network. I shouldn't call it the daily show because it's not 5 days a week. It's 3 days a week, but it's at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Make sure you're there. Make sure you're there. Again, and if you can't be there, that's fine. You can, it's obviously, you can go back and watch it later. And please like the videos as well for the daily shows. That way we get recommended at the top of YouTube when you search stuff about the Razorbacks, even on Google. When you look up videos on Google, you'll see Pig Trail Network throw a little speck on it. Throw some spec on it. All right, so green shirts were pretty thick. I don't know about you guys, and this is something that goes back to thanking the good Lord you've got some depth at some of these positions. But Arkansas, and I have to say, if they can't get over some of these injuries by Rice, I'm not too worried. But if it's something that lingers on into Texas, I'm a little bit concerned. The green jersey, the no-contact green jerseys, listen to this. You had Blake Kern. That's not good, especially when you're talking about what's going on at tight end. Blake Kern, Dalton Wagner. Look, Tykees Crawford's been on his heels. Tykees obviously getting more reps there. Ty Clary, Treylon Smith, Jalen Catalon, Zach Zymos, Jermaine Hamilton-Jordan, Miles Slusher, Kevin Compton. Did I say Burks? We know Burks is in the I didn't include Burks on that, did I? I'm looking at my list. Burks was also in a green jersey. Last I had heard, and I'm pretty sure today he was in a green jersey. Pittman had said today that he feels better, or well, I say today. It was yesterday. He feels better that Treylon Burks will be ready for Rice. He'll be good to go. Something else that was interesting. Now this I didn't hear because I was kind of in and out listening to Sam Pittman talking to the media. But Pittman said he would definitely play more than one quarterback through a game. So Malik Hornsby definitely going to be called up, and I'm going to give you guys an opinion I have on Malik too as well. Some of you you're not going to like it, some of you are going to love it, but as is the world of a op-ed YouTube channel. See, I don't get commercial breaks. I gotta get my water in. By the way, if you guys, if you know anyone that owns a small local business and they want to sponsor the show, hit me up. Give them my email, tyzilla83@gmail.com, and we're gonna fill those spots in too. We're gonna get those filled up. Hopefully, we get. I don't know how many sponsors we're gonna take on because I don't want a whole show where like in the middle it's just me for 5 minutes thanking all my sponsors. I'm trying to avoid that, but obviously I'm going to need sponsors along with Patreons and Super Chats and everything you could build up to keep this going, right? To keep doing what I'm doing. So Malik Hornsby going to be in. I don't think that's any real big shocker that Malik Hornsby, that we know they're going to have. They want to take advantage of his speed. This guy, this has been talked about by multiple members of the media who've had eyes on Malik. Remember, the media only got like the first 25 minutes of fall camp. They only got like the first 25 or so minutes. And every one of them have talked about how quickly Malik Hornsby, what they've seen from him and what we saw in the spring camp too, or in spring red-white scrimmage. Both of them. I went to the last two. The one thing that stands out without a doubt is Malik Hornsby's blazing speed. I don't know what his 40 time is officially, but I'm telling you something, it would not shock me if this kid ran like a high 4.3, low 4.4. Malik Hornsby can flat burn. He takes up 15 yards so quickly. I think you'd be crazy not to have a package specifically tailor-made to Malik Hornsby's skill set. Malik Hornsby is an absolute stud in the running game. Now, what we have heard is that his passing game not so great. He's struggling. It seems like every day we're hearing rumors that he's throwing multiple picks. Now I don't know how consistently he's throwing picks. I think in the passing game that's going to be a huge disadvantage when he comes out onto the field with that package, right? If a defense knows, well, he's gonna run. He can't throw well, and when he misses, last I laid eyes on him, he misses by a little bit. Okay, and that's sarcasm that he misses by a lot. He's got some work to do in the passing game department. There's no doubt about that. I think he'll if he could get that working, if he can get the passing game element, if he can garner that and make that a part of his skill set. Oh my goodness. And he's capable of hitting targets downfield. I mean, he is. He's capable. I'm not saying he's an atrocious passer, but I think he's going to have to expand on the passing game. That's something that they're going to and maybe they have, and it sounds like they've really worked with him on his passing game and maybe kind of tighten his mechanics up a little bit. But he is so dangerous. Again, he could take up 10 to 15 yards. It seems like in a blink of an eye. KJ can roll out and move down the field. He's more of a sluggish physical runner. he has the athleticism to take up a lot of field too, but just not as quickly and as smoothly as Malik Hornsby does. And that's what everyone likes the new guy. Everyone likes the highly rated 4-star dual threat. I can't remember the last time you had a 4.4 quarterback. Matt Jones, okay, 6'6", 242, ran a 4.3, what was it, 4.37, 4.38, laser at the NFL Combine way back in the day. Okay, but maybe Malik Hornsby has that kind of speed. Now Matt Jones looked slow because he was long-legged. He did not. I just remember being so shocked hearing about his NFL Combine numbers. Good vertical leap, too. There will never be another Matt Jones, I don't think, at Arkansas ever again. I really don't, at least not in my lifetime. That guy is he was the original freak of nature. I posted a video yesterday. It's the Matt Jones days left till Arkansas plays Rice. It's on Twitter. You can go look at it on the Pig Trail Network. If you just haven't seen the video, or if you want to see a quick, what is it, a minute and a half, 2 minute long video of just Matt Jones burning secondaries, good grief. But Malik Hornsby might have a similar skill set. And it's nice to have. It's really nice to have someone who can do that. And again, let's hope he tightens up the passing game a little bit as well. If they can get Hudson back consistently healthy, talking about what's going on with another position that's hurting because of injuries and depth. But if they can get Hudson back and Blake Kern 100% along with Nathan Bax, that looks like it's going to be your 3 deep. Landon Rogers, we know, was moved there. When was that now? Was that 2 weeks ago? God, that feels like forever ago now. I think Landon Rogers, it wouldn't shock me to see him maybe compete with Bax to make the 3 deep. I just can't see him making the field right now as a tight end. I don't see him being on the field. I don't see him being a contributor yet. You've got to look, man. You got to grow, right? You got to grow within the position. He's big. He looks strong. There's no doubt he looks like freaking Tarzan for when you consider his age. And he's athletic. I've said before, he reminds me so much of A.J. Derby. And I think maybe he could reach that level. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if they can grow him at that position. But he's going to have to remain coachable. And he went to the coaching staff. He wanted to play tight end because I think he realizes, look, that's where I'm going to make an impact. I know I have that skill set. I don't know if he can catch the ball or not. I hope that he can. We'll see. Couldn't be much worse than Blake Kern, right? Blake Kern was dropping that ball. He had a couple of drops last year, considering he wasn't targeted a hell of a lot, right? Let me check out chat really quick. Again, guys, if you want to join in on Discord, the link is up top. You may have to scroll up, and I'll post it again here in a minute. 9-4 is completely possible. Sup, Ty, KJ for Heisman. I'm not, I'm skeptical until they show me a reason not to be, says John Hawes. Thank you. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying about the defensive line, man. I mean, this guy is obviously all up in his emotions over the defensive line because I was skeptical. How dare you have a differing opinion, sir? He told me that I can't wait, or how did he put it? I can't wait to see you change your mind on the defensive line or something. And look, I hope I do. I think we're on the same page here. Spawn Quest Gaming, Sam Pittman is building a beast of an O-line, some huge dudes. We have developing, and I believe every recruit coming is over 300 pounds. I'm excited for that group. Did you see that Arkansas, compared to year 2 of Chad Morris to Sam Pittman year 2, the average player has gained over 20 pounds. It's something like 20, 21 pounds. That's insane. Dylan Davis. Ty looked up some defensive stats that could pertain to the D-line. We were 109th in sacks per game, 95th in tackles for loss per game, 92nd in rushing yards allowed. And keep in mind, you played 10 games while some teams played more, and there were some that played less. I'm not real big on comparing stats, but listen, because 2020 was an absolute shit show because of COVID. We all know that. It's hard. It's kind of unfair, but at the same time, look at where they rank within the conference. And that's these numbers that Dylan just gave us. I get being excited about the possibility of being better. That's where I'm at. I think they're going to be better on the defensive line. I've said that here multiple times. Some people, they hear a soundbite on Mark Rogers, or when I did the Texas, I had someone DM me when I was talking about the Razorback defense. I think it was the Razorback defense with the Texas Platinum YouTube channel. I had someone DM me over that. And look, I get it. I'm out there. I'm a whatever you want to call it. I'm not an influencer, but I'm a fan with a microphone and a webcam. I get it. I'm putting myself out there. People are going to get pissy and disagree, and I've been doing this for a while. I'm used to it. I'm okay with that. But man, I mean, this has been going on for days now. He's just putting up his fight about the defensive line. That's fine. Again, we're on the same page, but there's a different level of optimism there. But listen, those numbers are ridiculous. They were horrible up front. Show me, and I'll be the first guy. Here's the thing. If I'm wrong, Wilson Wood, sir, if I'm wrong, I'll be here. I'll be here when I'm wrong. At the end of the year, and I look back and I go, oh my God, they finished top 3 in whatever category on the defensive line. They finished top 3 in sacks, top 4 in sacks, top 4 pass rush, and quarterback hurries. One of the best run-stop defenses in the SEC. Believe me, I'll be here. Wilson, I'll be here, buddy. The question is, if the opposite happens, are you going to be here owning up to it, sir? And you don't even have to be in front of a webcam and behind a microphone. Psh. Psh. But that is bad, Dylan. Thanks for those numbers, man. My bad. It was Williams that had 7.5 sacks. Yeah, Trey, he had more sacks than everybody coming back on the defensive line. Guys, again, when you have 3 transfers who come in and beat everybody out, that's not good. I'm not a sunshine pumper, all right? I'm a realistic optimist. I don't know. I'm level-headed. I try to be. I try. Sometimes I'm not. I'm ready to see Rodgers put on some weight. He has great hands. Oh, okay. All right, Kelly. I didn't know that. I all I've ever seen is his quarterback highlights down in Little Rock. Ty, do you go to Old Wolf for the trim? Where did I? Are you talking about the haircut? I went to and I don't know if that's a real place or something. I have no idea. Red Hog, but I went to old time barber on Emma in Springdale. I like it there. It kind of reminds me of the barber that I used to go to in Fayetteville when I was a kid. His name was Lloyd. Actually, right down the road from it's like right smack dab in the middle of Fayetteville, kind of going up the S curves, over there by Penguin Ed's. There used to be a barbecue joint over there too. Before Penguin Ed's. Penguin Ed's is also obviously barbecue. But there's a place before that. I forgot the name of it. But my dad and he would take me and get my haircut. Then we'd go across the street and we'd get barbecue sometimes. But it kind of reminds me of that, it's got that old school feeling. And he does a good job. I didn't really do much with it. We were only rushing 3 guys last year. They were in some games, Spawn Quest. They were. But they didn't always. They had a 3 front. You're right that they had 3. They had a 3 front, and they didn't feel good about their depth up front as far as quality depth. They had numbers. They had too many young guys last year, right? And it's a process. That's one of the issues. When you fall behind on the line of scrimmage, some of those guys, it takes them to their second, third year till you really start to see them come through and develop. There's film on Rodgers from fall camp. I'm just thinking he's awfully scrawny for blocking, looking good as a receiving tight end. I did see him running some routes, now that I recall. Yeah, I think that was actually the first video I saw of him. It looked like he ran a rub, maybe it was a rub route. Anyways, he kind of dove right in front of the pylon there, and I think he came down with the catch. You think Zach Williams and Jashard Stewart contribute a lot this year? I hope Zach Williams does. I've been pretty big on Zach since they got him, since he signed. Boop, boop, boop. So you would rather have Alex Henderson says, so you would rather have any player that has been in a green jersey to be in full contact practice less than a week out from Rice and get hurt and possibly lose them for the season? Who said that? You must be talking to someone in chat, because I didn't say that. They need to get healthy. I said that. Alex, I don't know who you're responding to, man. Boop, 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 doop. Trey Knox still in the rotation. Last I heard he was, but he was also, like I mentioned, he was in green jersey for a little bit. Maybe that was last week when he was in green jersey. Let's see. Again, it was green jersey as of Thursday was Blake Kern, Dalton Wagner, Ty Clary, Treylon Smith. So he wasn't in green jersey Thursday. But I thought he was in green jersey earlier this week. Maybe I know Treylon Burks. We talked about that. Treylon Burks is someone you got to have healthy for Rice. But I would rather how do you feel about taking on Rice without Treylon Burks? I still feel pretty good. Now we're going to break down. Obviously, we're going to get into Rice next week. I'm really excited about next week, man. I really am. I think there are a lot of players that could break out this season for Arkansas. I think there's several familiar Hogs that I think will have an opportunity to be on the field and to become household names. I absolutely think there are several. Miles Slusher, who they're moving around in the secondary like crazy. He can play any position in the secondary. That goes for corner, nickelback, any of the safety positions. He's just, I don't want to say he's not a freak of nature. I mean, maybe he turns into one. I don't know. But he is someone who you can just kind of put anywhere you want in the secondary. And that is so nice to have. It is so nice to have, especially when you may not feel as great about maybe the nickel outside of Brooks, right? And if you could put Slusher in, mix him in a little bit with Brooks, oh my gosh. Or anywhere. I like it when Slusher's on the field. I'll just say that. I feel a lot more confident if obviously Catalan's got to stay healthy this year and hopefully officials don't screw him over and kick him out of games for bad calls, for bad targeting calls. I personally believe our secondary will be potentially a top 5 group this year. I think they absolutely could be. I agree, Azazian. I agree 110%. I'm ecstatic about our secondary. Are there going to be games where they just get blown away? Sure. Okay. Sure. Because again, I think the secondary, you feel good about what's going on the surface. The guys behind them, Devin Bush is fighting his way back into and I'm excited about Devin Bush. We haven't talked enough about him. This is a guy that was in the transfer portal not that long ago. And beginning of fall camp, that was the question. Like, where's he at? All of a sudden, you see him creeping up the 3 deep, and now he's in rotation for 2 deep. He's going to compete, and you love that for the future of the secondary. And for the sake of experience, I'm not going to bash Hudson Clark. Is he a liability at times? Yes. Corners get beat. Every corner in the history of football has gotten beat. I've listened to some really good podcasts that talk to really, ex-DBs, guys that are like legends, that are NFL Hall of Famers. They talk about getting their ass kicked in college in multiple times in games. It happens. Hudson, I don't think he has the speed. Like when you watch him play man coverage, I think he's a little bit of a liability. But for him being a walk-on redshirt freshman a year ago, he stepped up at times, and he's not afraid of physical contact. So you like him, at least from an experience standpoint, you have someone back there that knows, look, I played in 2020 in the worst year with one of the hardest schedules known to man in college football history, a 10-game SEC-only conference schedule, and I balled out my freshman year. Did you see Pro Football Focus rated him a top 4 fourth down defensive back in the country? I mean, yeah, it's probably all from one game, but I mean, still, think about all the players. I think it was fourth down defensive backs. I think it was I'll have to go back. Maybe I can dig that up, or if someone else could, and you want to link it to me, that'd be great. But he finished like top 4 fourth down defensive backs in the country. He has that going for him, and he has the experience. Is he a great every down corner? I don't think so. I was concerned when he kept the position and nobody beat him out last year. Because again, I think man coverage at times he just got blown by. He was a liability, but at other times he stepped up. I know fans were hard on him, especially there towards the end of the year. In your opinion, is Hudson Henry a bust? No, I don't consider anyone a bust until they've left campus. And I'll tell you why. Because even though Jonathan Marshall didn't ball out last year, Jonathan Marshall was an absolute force. when nobody else on the defensive line, Dorian Gerald, who was out again from injuries. Boy, if he could stay healthy this year, that'd be huge. But, Jonathan Marshall comes through his final year at Arkansas. Armand Watts came through his final year at Arkansas. There have been other guys, Spate, who was pretty high, if I remember right, was a highly rated JUCO. I know he was a JUCO, but I don't remember where he was at in terms of rank. I want to say he was like a top 40 JUCO pickup. Didn't do anything his first year. People were writing him off. His next year, the guy plays so well, he gets himself drafted, right? There have been numerous guys over the years who came through their final year. Brandon Allen, I think you can make that argument. Brandon Allen, who was I think he was a 4-star in at least one recruiting service. There was some pretty high hopes, especially when Petrino was recruiting him. And then obviously that went south pretty quickly. But, he had to grow in a new offense, and look what he did his last year on campus. So I'm not going to write someone off as a redshirt sophomore and call him a bust just yet. If we're going into his senior season, and I'll be honest, I don't even like calling kids busts. I just don't. Because sometimes the star system, it's kind of flawed. Obviously, for teams like Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Oklahoma, Clemson, it's pretty clear star system overall works. But then sometimes, it's just overrated. You remember we talked about him before, 5-star out of not Star City. Where was that? The 5-star defensive back, who's Winston, 5-star, top 3 corner out of high school, barely ever made the field. So sometimes the star system just sets these guys up for failure, Hoping Hudson steps out of his brother's shadow. Listen, it could be a game changer if Hudson Henry can stay healthy and at least get somewhat close to his ceiling, because I think Hudson has a really tall ceiling. I really do. Got a gut feeling Malik could be the starter for one reason or another before midseason. I agree. Simply because of KJ's durability. I think highly of both of these guys. This is an area where I'm not doing this team KJ versus team Malik. We've seen that happen and unfold, and Hog fans turn on each other, and it just gets stupid. I think either one of those guys are capable of doing some great things at Arkansas. There are guys, don't get me wrong, I'll say are probably a little overrated, or guys that and I probably have called someone a bust before, and I shouldn't say that. Will Pittman play Burks against Rice if he isn't 100%? I think he'd get limited snaps. I think it's going to depend on what kind of fight Rice gives you. And again, I don't want to spoil anything for next week. I'm really trying to hold back on the Rice information that I've dug up over the last couple of weeks. But they lost one of their best defensive players last year. He transferred out. They've got a quarterback situation going on where transfers come in, and there's a bit of a battle there. I don't think they've even named their quarterback. And someone else reached out to me in the DMs and had said that Rice, so far, what few fans they have that are on public boards are not thrilled about what they're seeing. They brought in a new, I think they're going to kind of bring in a new system. They run I don't even want to, I want to save this for next week. I want to save the juicy tidbits for next week. But they like to run and try and control the clock. I think in last year, what little I have seen, they don't mind putting 2 tight ends out on the field and just coming at you with the run game. Maybe a little bit of Burt, maybe a little bit of Bielema coming at you. And your defensive line could get tested, although Rice is obviously, in terms of talent, inferior. The defensive line should have a really good game against Rice. But it just depends on what Rice can do defensively to affect Arkansas on the offensive end. If KJ's just completely lost out there, and Rice, who at times, they didn't play very many games last season. If they get inside KJ's head, if they're getting pressure consistently, and if they take away the passing game, it may not matter how much Burks is out there if that's the case, because now you're going to be forced to hand the ball off more to Raheem or whatever's going on with Treylon Smith. Or I don't know what's going on with AJ Green. Don't even ask me about AJ Green. But they're going to find it. I don't see them using him like they would in an SEC matchup as much if he's not 100%. I don't know. It's just, I guess it's going to have to depend on the tempo of the game and where they're at. If this thing is 28-0 at halftime, it would not shock me if he was severely limited in the second half. I just don't know. Should they use him? I don't know. It's just going to depend on what happens for that Rice game. You don't want to lose. You talk about deflating the Sam Pittman balloon, losing to Rice. It's not like fans would be shocked by that simply because of what's happened over the last 3 years. I mean, hell, even Brett Bielema lost to Toledo in a year that was actually pretty good for Arkansas, and you lost to Toledo, right? You go back to 2012, the game I thought was almost as bad as Citadel. The very first game I ever went to, by the way. True story. If RQ56 in here, he would tell you. That's my dad. That was my very first game, the Citadel. Maybe I'm cursed. Maybe I shouldn't go to any more games. I have a pretty good record, though. Home games when I was in high school, the games I went to, they won like every one of them against quality SEC opponents. But it's not out of the ordinary for Arkansas to lose non-con games, but we're at this point now where we've hyped Sam Pittman up so much that a loss to Rice would just deflate your balloon. It would deflate. It would set, it would set the expectations at such a lower, it would lower the bar so much for the season, and it would pop a lot of excitement. It would pop that balloon in a hurry. So I think you got to play him, right? I don't know. It's we'll have to wait and see. I think Wagner hangs on to the tackle spot this season. He scares me out there. That right end is weak. He had a really good fall camp, but Crawford, and I've said this since when they got him back to recommit and re-sign. Crawford he's got NFL written all over him. Wagner, if he has a great season, could be, I don't know, maybe an undrafted free agent caliber. He might be 6th, 7th round kind of. I don't think his ceiling is anywhere near as high as Crawford. What we know about the injury, right? I mean, he's been in green. He's been in a green jersey. He's had the green on. He's not proven to be super durable. I really like Crawford. That's going to be a battle that's going to be really interesting to watch. This water's trying to. Oh, man. So dehydrated. But, yeah, I agree, Kelly. I think Crawford. I think Crawford. It wouldn't shock me. I'll say this, if Crawford doesn't creep up and take that spot from Wagner. And coming into fall camp, they had him at 3. They put Crawford at the 3 spot on the starting depth chart for the 3 deep, and they had Tykees Crawford at the 3 spot. Now he's at the 2, and now he's been working with the 1s with Wagner kind of being limited. So I think we'll have to wait and see. Hey, Ty, do you know if a full stadium is going to be allowed? And if, as of right now, as far as I know, it is, Tim. I'm pretty sure, yeah, as of right now, as of today, August 27th, 2021. Broham Todd. Kelly says, remember 2-star named Grant Morgan? Yeah, the star system isn't everything. I've talked about Jamal Anderson before. I've talked about him, 2-star tight end, turned into a top 10 draft pick at the defensive end spot, drafted by the Falcons, who was coached by who? Broham Todd says, BA came out in his debut and was a baller. The same game he hurt his shoulder diving into the end zone, took time to come back mentally and physically from that. Think Henry's in the same boat. Your thoughts? Well, I mean, I think it was that. Yeah, I mean, he was a little dinged up, sure, but I don't buy that it lingered him so much that it prevented him from being anything like what he was his senior year sooner. I think it was, if you remember, again, he was recruited by Bobby Petrino. He was going to play in that system. And then you had the Chaney, you had the offensive coordinator changes, you had the different styles in offense outside of just being a physical run first offense. I really don't think BA was really, I don't know, I don't think he was ecstatic about being in a play action system, in a strong eye formation kind of quarterback. I think he was expecting to be a 4 or 5 wide, throw the ball 40 times a game kind of quarterback where he gets the opportunity to throw the ball around the field. Doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, but you could see his development through the years. In his final year on campus, he peaked. He was phenomenal. He played so well that he got himself drafted, and he's still in the pros. I think he's wrongfully the most hated quarterback I've ever seen in the history of Arkansas, despite guys that didn't work out and were terrible before him, or despite guys that transferred out and don't get me wrong, Mitch Mustaine was really hated. But BA got so much unwarranted hate. You want to talk about like the level of hate. I get fans being upset about his performance going in, or his performances going into his senior season, but my gosh, you know, the whole car getting set on fire. Although I'd also heard that there was just someone running around doing that. What are the odds he gets the quarterback with all the hate? What are the odds that he gets his? What was he driving? It was a Chevy SUV. You know, so much, just a level of hatred for a quarterback that was just ridiculous. Yeah, you could, what the hell is he doing? Sure, that's fine. Hey, what are you doing, BA? You're killing me. That's fine. But the name calling, and I did hear he had his truck keyed. Well, there's a lot of comments here. Lose the rise. Ty don't even put that out in the universe. I'm just saying. I mean, look, nothing should surprise us at this point, but they are not going to lose to Rice. They're not. Imagine if Texas loses to Louisiana, which is completely possible, by the way. Louisiana is not bad. They're not bad at all. I'm trying to scroll down here. There's a lot of comments. Lance. What's up, Lance? Mr. Rage quit our Discord during a basketball game. You know I love you, Lance. Even a single-digit win against Rice would kind of upset me a little bit. Yeah, and I agree with that 100%. Ty, does Bryle's system allow us to fully utilize the deep off of an effective run game? Well, I mean, it did a year ago. There's no doubt that last year they were able to benefit a little bit. And what's crazy is we stretched the field some games without even a threat of a run game. Like, you know, when the run game, you remember those games, so many where Rakeem Boyd was struggling. You weren't really seeing a whole lot of Treylon. And here's Franks throwing the ball deep or 25 yards downfield, 30 yards downfield, doing his thing, stretching the field out. Like, imagine if they could get the run game going a year ago more consistently. Not that they didn't get it going. You know, Treylon absolutely took over. But, yeah, I think the deep ball, absolutely. And I think KJ's capable of throwing a deep ball, an accurate deep ball. Dan Enos turned Brandon Allen into a monster, and I agree with that. I think Dan Enos was the best thing in the world to happen to Brandon Allen. I agree. Boss Hog. No one says KJ will be very good this year, a lot better than Franks. If that's the case, your ceiling is way higher than expected. Because for me, that's where all the questions are. Defensive line, special teams, quarterback. Those are the questions. Those are the unknowns. I'm not saying they're bad. Defensive line, I'm not saying is bad. I just, again, going back to the commenter, there's some issues there, I think, you know, and they're going to be better. There's no doubt. I think they're going to be better. I think all areas they're going to be better. I think special teams, defensive line are going to be better. Quarterback, I think the jury's still out on for me. Someone lit his truck on fire. Well, yeah, they did. But there were multiple, and something that wasn't reported, there were multiple trucks that were caught fire. I think 2 on, or maybe 1 on campus and another one off campus. I don't know. That was crazy. I remember when all that went down. Do me a favor, guys. Make sure you hit the like. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share the content. Check out all the links provided for you down below in the description box. Look, I'm not trying to absolutely shit on somebody. But, again, I caught some flack on the Mark Rogers show over the whole defensive line stuff. And it's like, I get some of the disagreements, right? I get it. But Brandon Allen was so underrated. And the guy still is in the NFL. Even if it's a backup. I mean, let's see. That's kind of what Bryles does, though. He opens up the run with the pass. Well, it's veer and shoot. It's the veer and shoot offense. So it sure is nice when you have a quarterback who can run. It's nice when you have a quarterback who can run with the ball. And Franks was limited, although you've seen what he's done in the NFL. He's running the ball. He's doing just fine. It ain't nothing better than listening to Ty while eating enchiladas. John, I hope they're delicious. My wife is experimenting with I don't know what the hell we're eating for dinner. I really don't. Something with beef. I love that. But enchiladas sound great. I don't know what it is about being in here, but I'm always dehydrated. Have we had a cooler country boy on the hill since Coach Ken Hatfield? I love Sam Pittman so much. He is one of us for sure. Yeah, Sam Pittman, who grew up in eastern Oklahoma. I've been through his part of the world multiple times. Ty, was Browse in Baylor when they had RG3? I'm thinking he was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I could use some enchiladas for sure. Did you see the Browse interview last week when he said Catalon is the best safety he's ever seen? I didn't see him. I didn't hear that. Again, I'm real bad. Like, I listen to their interviews, and I usually, what I do is because I got to pick my kids up from school, so I'll have it on, and then, like, the kids get in the car, and all hell breaks loose, and I don't think to pause the damn video, and so I'm unable to listen to the whole thing, or I forget. I need to go back and listen to them. I've still got I need to finish the Sam Pittman one from yesterday, and I did not listen. I feel bad. I didn't get a chance to listen to Sam Pittman's show on Wednesday night. I hate that. Justin Kipper, what's up, man? Saw a highlight reel of KJ. Most of KJ's highlights were great catches by Burks. A lot will depend on Burks this year. No more homeschool. No, I'm not. Nope. That's why I'm able to do the weekly, the daily. I need to quit calling it the daily show. Damn it! But that's how I'm able to do the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday shows at 11 a.m. starting next week, starting on the 30th. Can't wait. Browse finally has a quarterback with wheels, not just one but two. Yeah. We're all prepared for the Malik Hornsby. Are we all prepared for the Malik Hornsby packages this season? I hope we get it dialed in this year, because last year was, yeah, last year, and you guys know where I stand on last year. I think there were realistically 5, maybe even 6 games that Arkansas was in on that, had things gone their way, maybe could have won. For sure 5. We know 4. Auburn, we know that. LSU, Mizzou, are you kidding me? Bing, bang, boom. There you go. Right? Bing, bang, boom. That's all you need to know. I mean, they were in on 6, maybe even damn near 7 games. I'm not saying they could have won. I don't think there was a path to 7. But the path to 6 was there. It was there. Far, far superior product than compared to what we had the previous 3 years. Haagen-Dazs. What's up, Haagen-Dazs? How you doing, man? He just says like. So he's just wanting you to hit the like button. That's all. Appreciate that, Haagen-Dazs. Browse said he didn't care what KJ weighs if he's dropping dimes. I did see that, and that was great. I'm interested in seeing this offense when Hornsby is the starter in 2 to 3 years. Well, yeah, for sure. Running quarterbacks can help an offense, but I don't think there is anything worse for a good passer than a good runner too. So I'm going to say this too, and if you guys can't tell, I'm trying to hold back stuff for next week. There's so much more. So much more. I can't wait. Monday, I'm going to do my official win-loss record. I'm asked that quite often. I'm actually surprised you guys haven't asked me tonight, but I'm asked that a lot. I haven't gone out in public as much, but the last 2 people to stop me in public, both of them asked, one of them at a gas station, another one at the Walmart on Mall Avenue in Fayetteville. Both of them asked me how many we winning. And I'm like, man, I tell you what, if you watch my show, check out August 30th. I hope I told them August 30th. I think I did, and I'll let you know. Ty, same. No more homeschool. Oh, isn't it great? Carline is worth it. Do you go like super early, Kelly? Because I haven't been. I've been going kind of like I've been putting it off. Like my kids, you got to pick up at like 3:12. But the line at my kid's school wraps. We were wrapping all the way down Emma Street in Springdale. Now they've moved us over a couple of streets. It's just it's ridiculous. It feels like there's 500 cars in line, but I don't care. I'll just sit back and try to get caught. That's where I get caught up on a lot of my Razorback stuff, to be honest. Hawes tried to limit Frank's running last season, didn't want him banged up. He was a game manager. He absolutely was, and I agree 110%. I've said that last year. I always felt like he was more of a game manager who had a special arm. He's not someone who's going to go out and win you. He's not going to go out and win you or get you blowout kind of games, right? Like, he's not going to be the reason why you beat someone 52-7, but he's a game manager. And the way this offense works, the RPO, it certainly is nice when you have a quarterback who, linebackers, if they second guess themselves for a split second, quarterback's down, he's downfield. Or he picks up 8 or 9, 10 yards. With Malik, it could be 15, 20 yards. With Malik, it could be a touchdown. And that's what everyone's excited for with Malik. I get it. That's what everyone's excited for. Malik Hornsby, it's a run game. It's the run game. It's that edge, right? Oh my God, we have our own Michael Vick. Could you imagine though, if Matt Jones in this system? Not that he didn't run the option really well, but oh my God, not in Matt Jones. Throwing the ball was definitely not his strength. Broham Todd says, Ty, write this down in stone. I don't have any stone with me. Arkansas wins 7 this season. If I'm wrong, I like my crow grilled. See, and that's fine, right? I'm not telling you my prediction yet. That's coming Monday. You guys, I hope you're there. 11 a.m. I really hope you're there, or at least I hope you're able to catch it later. But some people are going to disagree with me, and that's fine, right? That's fine. Hell no, I leave the house 5 minutes before the bell ring. Slacker, I was leaving early on, and then I was like, forget this. I'll go a little later. Malik's high school film is sick. It is. It is, man. He covers so much field. Did you see where Ernest Green was looking for that hog offer? Number 2 offensive lineman in his class, his uncle was a hog. Yeah, back in the 80s, I did see that. And then he put out his top 8? And then I think it was Arkansas offered after the elite or after his top 8. So what now? What's your favorite thoughts if we should move Trey Knox to tight end? At this point in his career, I mean, he's a third-year guy. He's a junior. I love what he can do as a threat as a receiver with that 6'5" frame, long arms. I just don't know what the hell happened to him last year. And I think he was a little banged up. Was it his hip? He was having issues. He was having some issues. I don't know what's going on. I really thought he was going to be a quality wide receiver for Arkansas. And look, his first year he was. There's no doubt. His freshman year on campus, he absolutely looked like he was going to be the future. And we were still kind of waiting on the other guys, right? Burks and some of the other highly rated players. And then last year he just disappeared. And hopefully this year he pans out. But I'm not falling in love with the idea of putting him at tight end. I'm just not. That position's got to be pretty physical in this offense and has to be legit short route runs. You got to bail your quarterback out. You got to be the check down, right? I like him lining up outside, and going after those jump balls in the red zone, right? Those 50-50 jump balls in the red zone. Just toss them up and have someone try to out-jump that 6'5", I forgot how many pounds he is. What is he, 215, 210, 215? Try to force them to have to try and cover that, right? I love having that option. I don't know who to compare him to. Someone, after his freshman year, everyone was calling him like the next Monk. And I don't know where his ceiling is anymore. I really don't know, but I think his ceiling is higher as a wide receiver. But he does look bigger. Yeah, someone wrote he's eating that cornbread. Look, if there was ever a year, someone's going to have to step up. How healthy really is De'Vion Warren? Is he going to be able to stay healthy throughout the season? Been a lot of talk about the OU transfer. A lot of talk about the freshman whose name is slipping my freaking mind, Ketron Jackson. A lot of talk about him through this fall camp. I mean, a lot of talk. They're really hyping him up. I think he's in the 4 deep. Actually, I have that list right here. This was from, I think, Wednesday. So this might be, I'm not sure. I don't have the day written down here. But your ones that were rotating out at least a couple of days ago, let's just say that. KJ Jefferson, obviously. Treylon Smith was with the ones. He was running a little bit more. That had to be Tuesday. Kendall Catalon is rotated out, obviously, with the injuries you've had there. John David White. Bryce Stevens is another guy. Ricky Stromberg is back on the offensive line. Of course, Myron Cunningham. Brady Latham at left guard. What? Did you guys see that over Luke Jones? Luke Jones had we thought he was going to come in and fight it out and take that job. Brady Latham, it looks like could be your number one left guard. I thought it was going to be Luke. I'm wrong. Luke is getting beat out. Brady Latham, and I don't know about today. I haven't seen what today. I just haven't had a chance to really look into what happened today and well, really today or yesterday. But Raheem obviously is going to be rotating. I think Raheem. Who was it? Was it Trey Biddy? Someone said that Trey Biddy said. This is where you get into that he said, she said, whatever. But Trey Biddy over on Hog Sports was told that Raheem Sanders, and this was someone who's at practice every day, that Raheem Sanders was going to end up taking over the most carries by the end of the year over Treylon Smith. Think about that. Treylon, the end of last season, was a baller. Treylon was killing it, man. He was crushing it. Over 5 yards a carry in SEC play. I mean, we really thought, like, holy crap, why didn't we do this sooner? I was all about, look at this one great game Rakeem Boyd had. This is why we got to keep with Rakeem. Rakeem doesn't show up and then, of course, ends up having to leaves the team a little early. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I know someone's going to get pissy about that. But and then Treylon steps up, and he's the man. He's the man. And look at this year. He's getting his heels burned off by Raheem Sanders. I don't know what's going on. AJ Green has not worked much at all in the 3 deep. They had Dominic Johnson back there. You've had some other guys. Warren Thompson at wide receiver, the Florida State transfer. I don't know if you guys have kept up with him much. He's built similar to – he reminds me a little bit of and I talked about him in Discord. The JUCO wide receiver, Brandon Martin. 6'4", 6'5" frame, big, physical, pretty good athlete, top 3 receiver out of the JUCO ranks. I think on paper was the highest rated JUCO player we've ever signed. And that's saying a lot because Arkansas has signed some really good JUCO players. You go all the way back as long as you want, going back for a while. And he stands out as one of the best JUCO signees you've ever had. Never panned out. But now you have this Warren Thompson kid who highly rated out of high school, goes to Florida State, ends up following Kendall Briles here, and he's been talked about in the 2 deep. Obviously, some of that's because of the injuries. I get that, but I mean he's come in and he's making his name known to some extent. He's also been battling some injuries through fall camp as well. But yeah, so there's so much to talk about when you just talk about the guys that have really stood out on the defense. This is what we had on the defense. With the ones, again, this was I don't have what day this was, but you had Dorian Gerald, John Ridgway, Isaiah Nichols, Jashad Stewart on the defensive line. Bumper Poole, who was running with the 2s. I don't know if that's just we want you to step up. We know Bumpers, unless Hayden Henry, and I know Hayden has had a pretty good fall camp. I don't know what the deal is there. I don't know why Poole was running with the 2s, actually. I don't know if that's we don't like your effort, so we're putting you at the 2 spot, or maybe they're just rewarding Hayden. I don't know. But like I said, don't count him out. But you had him, Jalen Catalon. Fouché has fought his way back up as the 2 safety. And Ladarius Bishop, Monteric Brown as your 2 corners. But the guys, the defensive line behind Ridgway, Nichols, Gerald, and Stewart is and again, we don't have an official depth chart. We won't have one probably I'm going to guess middle of next week, maybe Friday. Who knows how Sam Pittman's going to do it this year. But this year, your 2s, it looked like that this week and a little bit of last week was Monty Al-Soli, Torrin Carter, Eric Gregory, Zach Williams playing on the 2 deep on the defensive line. And then your 3 deep up front is Eric Thomas. Marcus Miller. I was really hoping. I hope he cracks the 2 deep this year. Cam Ball, you remember him? How highly recruited he was, despite being a 3-star. So, and again, you had a plethora of guys in green jerseys too. So, All right. We're at an hour 10 here. Again, Super Chat is up and running. I know I'm skipping a lot of questions, but chat is we got a lot going on here. By the way, do we know if Treylon Burks is healthy? So Bloodline, we talked about that earlier. Sam Pittman had said that if he should be good to go by Rice. Raheem Sanders is an athlete. He was out of high school. He was learning to play running back. Really, he was a receiver. And everything that I've been told and what I've read was he needed a lot of work on the route running game, but had all the other, he had the skill set to play the position. Two of his, let's see. Raheem Sanders is an athlete learning to play running back. Saw two of his Rutledge high school games. Okay, AJ will eventually overtake him, and I love Rocket. AJ's good, man. You guys know where I'm at on him, too. He's just, I don't know, he's been dealing with some injuries and stuff. I'm not really sure what's going on. Oh, Broham, thanks for coming by, man. I'm trying to pick some comments here to read. Rocket Sanders is the real deal, says James Arnold. We'll see it against Rice. I agree. I think Raheem is. We didn't know that during spring camp he was running with an injury. He was going through spring camp with injuries. Who knew? I didn't know that. Nobody knew that until the beginning of fall camp when Pittman talked about it. I say we win 4 SEC games this year with 4 non-conference games. Your thoughts, says Alex. I'm not taking the bait, Alex. On Monday, I will give you my thoughts on what's going on there. I love Ridgway's Twitter handle. I tackle people. Have you heard his interviews? Matt Stacy says, got the tail in, man. Haven't been able to in a while. Oh, well, welcome, Matt. Apparently Auburn is a dumpster, and they are already turning on Harsin. I did see that on Twitter. Yeah, they're already pissed. And I heard their boards are not the friendliest of places right now. Woods would be a 5 or a 6 on this team, says Dwayne Gibson. I don't know about that. I don't agree with that. No. Dwayne, I get the being upset about him leaving, but no. Look, I mean, he clearly stepped up last year. I get it. Devion Warren went down. His numbers surged and everything, but I think he'd be in the starting 3-4 rotation. Absolutely. He is good. I mean, we got to remember he's at Oklahoma where they're full of just NFL talent. That's a tough. I don't understand that move. I still don't. I still don't understand that move to Oklahoma. I don't get it. Are you going to do the record live or no? So, okay, again, starting Monday, August 30th, I was going to get a graphic put together for you guys, but I didn't. On the 30th, and repeating every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I will be live at 11 a.m. I will share it across social media, I promise. So that's when I'll do my – and obviously when we're over with, if you miss it, it'll still be up for you guys to watch. So I smell garlic. Oh, my goodness, y'all. I think I'm going to have some – I think dinner's going to be really good. My wife always cooks great dinners. So yeah, Tony, I'm fully expecting her to open that door and give me the look. She must not. She must be listening to one of her true crime podcasts while she's cooking dinner. Harsin doesn't get the Southern culture. He's a fish out of water. Well, that's what a lot of people have said about a lot of coaches that have come down here, but they've still had some success, right? Nick Saban and Les Miles. We know who didn't have success down here. John L. Smith, come on down. He went because it's a pass-heavy offense, and they have really good wide receiver. They have They have really good wide receivers that made it to the league in Marquise Brown, Dede Westbrook, and Sterling Shepard and more. Yeah. Yeah, and he said that. I'm pretty sure he came out on a video that was posted on Twitter, and that's what attracted him to Oklahoma was just, the quarterbacks that have helped, the quality of skill position players and what they've done going to the NFL and what have you. I get it. Burks, Warren, Thompson, Crawford, I could definitely see Woods at 5. Yeah, but I think doing that, you're just discounting. Like, we don't know what Woods would be doing during fall camp, right? We don't know what he'd be doing. We don't know if he'd be making highlight reel catches like he was last offseason. You remember last fall camp? Like every week it was either Burks or Woods, sometimes Knox, very rarely, making highlight reel catches. And so the hype would be different, right? What we'd be saying about these receivers. No, I would definitely put I would put Woods in the 4 deep, 3 deep at Arkansas this year. I just would. Now, that doesn't mean these other guys that you just mentioned, Kelly, won't ball out this year. I think they will. I think they absolutely will. Going to be married a while longer now. Woods is not the number 5 receiver with the Sooners. No, I didn't say he was. I don't know what he is. Last I saw, he was 4th. I'm not sure. Woods at worst, number 3. Yeah, it's just too hard for me. What you saw Woods do in this system and this offense on top of his spring camp, how good he looked all through spring camp, I have a real hard time seeing him out of the top 4. Arkansas beats Rice, Texas, Georgia Southern, Ole Miss, Auburn, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Mississippi State, Missouri. 8-4 says Mr. Bloodline. All right. Woods will not start for Oklahoma. Again, Oklahoma, that receiver room, Arkansas has Burks. That's for sure NFL talent. For sure. If you're even a skeptic of the hype behind Burks, we would have to argue he's at least a mid to late first-round draft pick. But that's one guy, right? Oklahoma, top to bottom, that roster, that's all NFL talent. I don't know how far. Obviously, it's going to depend on what they do this year. I'm just excited and anxious to see where our Hogs go this year. Good, bad, or indifferent. I wish my wife would cook. Well, Sarah and I both do the cooking. Kelly can attest to that because Kelly and I, we share what we do in Discord, our cooking in Discord. I cook quite a bit actually. I did some. I've experimented in the kitchen a little bit. What did I make last week? I shared it with you guys. Oh, it was quinoa. I mixed in parsley, onions, lemon juice with some quinoa. You guys ever had quinoa? It's supposed to be healthier than rice. I am fat and I'm trying to lose some weight. So quinoa is a good alternative to white rice. Hopefully Jefferson can toss it to these receivers. I agree. I hope so too. The high rated receiver out of Texas also. Yeah, we talked about him. Katron Jackson. That guy is a baller. All right. I have high expectations for him. Not as a freshman. We'll see. That kid's going to be – I think he's going to end up being special. I don't know if he has that same freak of nature skill set like Treylon Burks does, but just as a pure receiver, he's got the frame. I mean, we know he's got the body, right? 6'2.5", 6'3" frame. Yeah. Jalen Catalon, Burks are both first-round talents. Catalon, the only thing holding him back is his size a little bit. I mean, there's no doubt that guy, his film is fun to watch. There's no doubt about that. All the retired NFL wide receiver analysts pick Burks as the best NFL prospect. Yeah. And I'm talking about even the biggest skeptics, right? Even the biggest skeptics of the hype on Burks, you would still have to put him in the middle of the first round. Obviously it's what you do on the field, his durability. We know the guy has had some durability issues, some slight durability issues in his past. What his production looks like this year on the field, a lot of factors are going to go into it, but his ceiling is just so freaking high. I mean, without a doubt. That quesadilla sauce looked so good. The Taco Bell quesadilla sauce, I love it. It was so good. You guys, it was so good. It's I've got the recipe somewhere. I put it in Discord. I love that we're talking about food because I'm fat. Fat guys love talking about food. I love food. I like experimenting and trying to do something, but I love Taco Bell's quesadilla sauce. You're going to get me all kinds of hyped up and excited talking about that. And they also used to make this thing called The steak soft tacos used to come with this stuff called lime sauce. It was like green. Dude, it was so good. They stopped making it. I want to find that recipe and make it and make those steak soft tacos. The best steak soft taco I've ever had. And that's crazy saying that from a chain fake Tex-Mex Taco Bell, fast food restaurant, but it was so good. I wish Woods all the best, but if he is 1 or 5, doesn't matter. He ain't a hog no more. Right. What happened with Ware from North Little Rock basketball question? He's not a hog. He's not a Razorback. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you guys ask me basketball stuff right now, I'm not keen in on it. I will as the season goes on. He's not a hog. That's what I can tell you. Where we'll end up transferring back home. Give it a year. We'll see. Burke's best competition is Mechie. We shall see. All right. I do appreciate you guys. Remember to like. Let's get the likes. Take the like button out to a seafood dinner. Okay? Be kind to it. All right? Do that for me. Seriously, though. And if you haven't already subscribed, check out the links. Patreon update will be, I don't know about next week. Patreon lags behind a little bit. They don't give me an updated payout. The payout people who whatever you want to call it, the Patreon supporters, I don't get that updated list till like the 5th day. So maybe it might be the following week we have that updated list. But yeah, I saved the recipe on Pinterest. Taco Bell quesadilla are my jam. They're so good. They're so good. Once they hit the lips, they're so good. All right. Yeah. So again, check out all the links. If you don't want to be a Patreon monthly supporter, again, it's a minimum of $4 a month. There is, I think my PayPal is still down there. If you want to throw a tip in the old tip jar, whatever, I'd greatly appreciate it. And next week, this guy. It's all on this guy. From this point on, no more preseason talk. Next week, we're all in, baby. It's Rice Hate Week starting on August 30th. I will see you guys at 11 a.m. Hopefully you can make it. If you can't, the video will be there later in the day. I am still doing post-game shows. Post-game shows are just crazy. They're so fun. I love doing this. I like doing the daily stuff too, but I look forward to post-game shows. Those are so fun. So, join Discord for more recipes and more Razorback football talk. Let me get that out. Kelly's like, look at her go. She's always reminding me. There you go. Let me put that out there. If you guys want to join, there it is. Bing, bang, boom. I don't know why. Enter. Go through chat. There you go. All right. Yeah. Join the PTN Discord. I'm in there. If it's another way to DM me. I'm pretty quick at answering DMs most of the time. Sometimes I fall a little bit behind. I expect next week to be crazy, but it's all in good fun. So, and again, the Razorback rumor page, I haven't updated it. I think I'm gonna do a new page on that Discord. I really am. I think I'm gonna do either I don't know. Maybe we'll do a recruiting page, and then maybe we'll do a Rice Hate Week page or something where I could put information from the game. That Sunday, maybe I can update it, and you guys have all your stats there, just in case you're wandering around Discord and you don't want to go look up the stats yourself on ESPN. Maybe I can paste them in a random Discord chat room for you. But you got to join the PTN Discord to get that information. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Hey, Lance, I got a lot of ground to cover here, buddy. Cut me some slack. Whoop pig. I'll see you guys on Monday, 11 a.m.